How's it guys, Munash here, and today we have the 12th war of Season 24. Probably one of the most interesting wars I've had in Alliance War in a while. And I know the season ended over a week ago, but I'm still making these videos because some of you really like them and I enjoy making them, even though they take a little bit longer than most of my videos, because in war I tend to break down every fight and I do multiple fights. But I have been having more fun with the war commentary lately and not taking it too seriously, you know, cracking jokes here and there, but still try to have a good breakdown for each fight. And we are going to be doing part 2 in section 1 for the first time, which I was pretty keen for because it's a new part, it's pretty interesting. And then we're going to switch to part 5 as we usually do, where we're going to be doing some Falcon fights because he destroys Ebb and Flow Intercept. No Apocalypse boss, but there was still an Apoc placed somewhere on part 2 in section 1. I don't know what it is, but it seems like I just can't escape this guy. Like even when he's not on the boss node, I still end up fighting him somehow. Like a few wars ago, I think War 9, he wasn't on the boss node, but he was on part 7, and I was doing part 7 for the first time that day. Wait. What if I only did part 7 because he was there? Huh. I need to speak to my officers. Didn't realize there's a pattern until now. But yeah, part 2, and first up we have a Guillotine 2099 with Strike Counter Fury and Power Struggle. Now I have to admit, at first I didn't fully understand how this node works, because I actually kind of misread that last sentence. So I thought it said the defender gains a Fury passive until the charges reset, so I thought that would also remove the Furies, but no, it doesn't work like that, obviously. Once the Furies are there, they don't go away, but I still try to sort of follow the node and try to change my combos to make sure I don't give her too many of those Furies, cause even with a few of them, she's still hitting fairly hard through my block. But Power Struggle made that a little bit more difficult because whenever she throws a special attack, she also drains all my power, and I can only gain a bar of power by her gaining a bar of power. So at that point I sort of messed up by dropping my last medium attack, which also activated her cloak, which means I can't hit her, and she was just free to gain a couple of more Fury passives. But otherwise not a bad fight with Hyperion, and she's a pretty squishy champ. I mean, she's a rank 3 and barely has over 100,000 health. So it was never going to take long, I wasn't really too worried about it, and now we're going to move on to the next one with the same Strike Counter Fury. But this one also has Brute Force and Power Focus 1, and of course it is Apocalypse. So this placement makes a lot of sense to me because I mean Power Focus 1 with the Park means he's going to be throwing a lot of special 1s. It's going to be a lot more difficult to bait the special 2. Then there's the Strike Counter Fury node which can make the special 1s hit much harder. Then you get Brute Force as the cherry on top because apparently this fight isn't fun enough. You know, we need another piece of interactive damage that you can't really avoid without hitting the opponent. So I just boosted Warlock a little bit because the last fight didn't quite go exactly as planned, but still it shouldn't be too bad, although I still want to be extra safe because it was the last war of the season. And also Apoc's special attacks are a lot more damaging than Guillotines, or at least they're a lot more difficult to deal with. So I went with Power Start because I wanted to get those armor breaks pretty early, because then at least I can power drain him with willpower. But of course he doesn't have willpower. That's becoming a pretty common trend now. Which isn't really a big problem, but I kind of just made the fight slightly more difficult, like I would say maybe 6% more difficult. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on with the fight and do the usual special 1 partial dex where I just dex the first and the third hit and then I block the second one. Now it's pretty easy to get it down very consistently. It took me about half a minute to get good at because I am just that talented, super lightning fast reflexes. I eat all my vegetables, and no, I'm kidding, it's just that easy that you can get it down consistently pretty quickly. But I do eat all my vegetables, they're pretty good for nutrition. So at first I was trying to comply with the node and stagger my combos and just sort of make sure I don't get to 0 on those charges. But then I said, screw it, let's just go full combos and drop some special 2s because those will do more damage. And blocking the special 1, just that 1 hit wasn't doing that much damage. It was only towards the end of the fight when he had a lot of those passive Furies. But at that stage he was almost down, so I wasn't really worried. This fight would have been super chilled if I used the tech power boost, but I only had 1 more left, which I was saving for the Weapon X mini-boss later on. So not too bad with Warlock, and he has put in so much work for me ever since Protect became the dominant tactic. All these Apocalypses and several other fights, he's just been such a phenomenal workhorse. Oh, and speaking of workhorses, now we have a Falcon fight against a HitMonkey with Strike Counter Fury, Armor and Power Drain. So I'm mainly just using Falcon here because he can counter evade pretty effectively. I was also hoping he would bypass the strike counter node, but he doesn't. Wasn't too worried about this fight, so I decided to test it out. So I go in and lock on and then drop 2 heavy attacks, which sets the counter to 0. And as you can see, he is gaining those passive furies, so I just go in and drop a special 1, which stops them from accumulating. So I just carry on with the fight. And I thought it was interesting how I drop a heavy attack, which knocks him down. And he doesn't get enough of that primal or assassin nonsense. And then when I use a special 1, he does. So yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, but I don't think it's supposed to work like that. So when I drop the special 1 to knock him down, he's activating his charges and then using the primal rage to purify one of the bleed debuffs. At this stage, I'm starting to get a bit impatient, so as usual, I'm going to start ignoring the node and just drop full combos. So I'm just going to let him get as many furies as he wants, because, you know, it's all good. This fight is almost over now. Just got to lock on one more time and then drop some full combos, and he will go down pretty quickly. Not much health left anyway, so yeah, just gotta carry on, drop full combos, then I drop a special 1, and the bleed takes him out. So that's my section 1, and now we're gonna move on to section 2, part 5. And this is where the war started getting very season 24 like. As in the game just started letting me down and just giving me issues. So now we have this Sentinel with Ebb and Flow Intercept and Sadist. So I'm going to use Hyperion for this fight. He's a pretty good counter for it. There's not much to it. It's just a Sentinel with a bit of a protection. So now I'm thinking, okay, this is a fairly straightforward fight. Everything is going so well so far. Let's start the fight. You know, I'm going to go in and wait for the fight to finish loading, and then I'm going to beat this guy and then move on. And I'm waiting for the fight to load, and I'm still waiting, but it's not finishing. And then all of a sudden, connection issue pops up. Don't know why that is there, because my Wi-Fi is working perfectly fine. I tested it just now before going into this fight. Just happened to stop working when I actually loaded the fight. Okay, so that's not good. So the fight ended up loading for about 90 seconds, and then it just gave me this. Extremely frustrating, because I know that's going to be a death, you know, because I started the fight and everything was working fine, but then after the loading failed, then yeah, you go back in. First thing I check, of course, is the attack bonus remaining, and there's only 2 left, which means that's a death. I mean, obviously it's a death because I can see my Hyperion's at half health, so it's like timing out. So yeah, pretty frustrating way to lose a kill or an attack bonus in war. Like, what is going on with this game over the past month? I don't know if it's just me. Actually, I know it's not just me, because I've seen plenty of comments, you know, telling me that they've been having the same issues, be it with lags or, you know, skipped frames, games randomly freezing, menu screens randomly freezing, games just not loading, you know, just all these issues making the game so unpleasant to play, especially in Alliance War, because the deaths actually do matter, and this is probably the worst way to lose an attack bonus, because there's not much you can do about it. So after reloading the game and calming down, I just had to heal up Hyperion and then go back in, and now we can actually do the fight. So I go in with Hype, and I'm not going to try to intercept. I'm just going to parry heavy while I build to the special 3. So I'm getting decent Fury RNG, and this is just to make the special 3 hit a bit harder. So by the time I get to 3 bars of power, I have 8 Fury buffs. Would have been a nice special 3 if it weren't for protection, but the special 3 is mainly just for those cosmic charges, which helps with his damage, his power gain, and his masculinity. Then after that, the real fight begins. Okay, so let's drop that Sentinel. Then after this, I'm gonna have to bait a special 2. And the special 2 is definitely not ideal in this situation because of how easily it can trigger protect. So I'm mostly gonna be using special 1s because those don't trigger protect. Or at least they shouldn't if I don't have too many Fury buffs. But either way, they get removed when he gets knocked down, so not really an issue. So now I start dropping special 1s, and I had him in a corner with less than 1 bar of power. So I decided to drop a heavy attack after that, and it actually connects, which it usually does. But what I found interesting is that it also counted as an intercept because he rushed into it. And my face just lit up when I saw that passive fury pop up. I was like, oh, that actually works. Neat. And I managed to do a lot of damage while that fury was up. Then eventually protection comes back and I bait a special 1. Then I try to do the exact same thing, drop a special 1 with less than 1 bar of power on him, go for the heavy attack, and this time he hesitates a little bit before going in, and I actually get combo, take a full 5-hit combo, taking me down to 19%. Wow, like if he had higher crit rate there, I could have died. Yeah, I didn't know how to feel about that one. I was like, Jesus, that was a little bit scary. Yeah, I don't know how effective or how viable this tactic is anymore because that just happened. I don't know if I was perfectly positioned or aligned, but I thought I was because I was in the corner. But yeah, I'm gonna have to heal up Hyperion again because we still have another fight to deal with him, which was kind of annoying having to use more health potions, but at the same time I was just happy that I get to do more fights with Hyperion in Alliance War. So now I've applied some big boy boosts because I still have 4 more fights in this war, and it's the last war of the season, so I don't really have to worry about preserving boosts at this stage. So now we are facing a Rhino with Ebb and Flow Intercept and Redoubled Determination. So I'm just going to use Falcon for this fight, and I'm not even going to try to intercept because it is Rhino, a champ who does go unstoppable when he dashes at you. So if I try to intercept with Falcon, I will get hit, which might not be such a big problem because I probably can take one combo from a rank 2 Rhino and still live. He doesn't really hit that hard and I only would need to intercept once with Falcon, then protection won't come back for the rest of the fight, but I'm not going to even try to do that because my health is pretty important at this stage. I've used quite a few health potions and I still have one more fight to do with Falcon after this, so I might as well just stay healthy and get the fight done the long way. So this is not going to be the quickest Falcon fight because I'm literally going to do the whole thing with a 60% attack reduction. But it is a very simple and straightforward fight, so not much can go wrong. The only thing you want to be aware of is that he has a chance to go unblockable when he dashes at you. So I do try to play fairly aggressively and stay pretty close to him just so he doesn't have space to dash at me and go unblockable. But that's all there really is to this fight. I've done it a couple of times with a number of different champs such as Nick Fury, although not with Redoubled, just with Sadist. Stealth Spidey of course because he can actually intercept when you have the slow debuff, although I haven't used Stealthy with Protect. I've also used Doom for this fight, he works for it because he's just such a tank that you can actually intercept, and you will get hit when you try to intercept but he can't crit against you so the damage isn't that bad. Okay, so Rhino is about to go down, a very comfortable fight with Falcon, only lost 1% health, and it actually didn't take that long, just over 90 seconds because I boosted pretty hard. And it's just a rank 2, although I haven't seen a lot of rank 3 Rhinos out there yet, although they are out there. I've seen a few, and we do place one ourselves, respect whoever ranked them up, but they're still fairly rare. Alright, so last fight in section 2, rank 3 Nick Fury, Ebb and Flow Intercept, Crumbling Armor, Redoubled Determination, Falcon Food. So yeah, I'm just going to use Falcon for this fight because he can bypass the intercept node. Also using a combat regen boost because I want to use invulnerability because I only have one more left, but I still want to get a bit more health just in case I need it for when he goes stun immune and starts doing a lot more damage. But yeah, I just got to lock on, then backdraft, light attack, and protection is gone. Now it's a very straightforward Nick Fury fight. Has virtually no nodes now because Crumbling Armor only works to my advantage because I have willpower. And then Redoubled just means you get slightly more power when I hit him while he's parry stunned, which barely makes a difference. In fact, it can make the fight a bit easier if you want to push to the special 2, which I do want to do because it's much easier to dex compared to the special 1. But he still threw a lot of special 1s, like whenever I would end my combo with the medium attack and push him to 1 bar of power. I wasn't really trying that hard to prevent him from throwing it because I can just block it, and it doesn't do that much damage. Now here's where the fight gets a little bit weird. Well, it's not actually the fight, it's just the recording. The game was working perfectly fine, but the recording just got messed up somehow. I don't know why or how, but the sound is still working fine. You can still hear me beating up Nick Fury. You just can't see it unfortunately, but at least it didn't last that long. Okay, so now things are back to normal, everything's going fine. Nick Fury is about to lose the decoy, which means he's about to lose the fight because I am Falcon, and Falcon doesn't care about decoys or second lives, you know, he just carries on doing his thing. Now I just gotta avoid hitting him while he's degenerating, just to make the fight a bit easier because he's going down anyway, so hitting him would be unnecessary effort. So I'm just gonna wait it out, you know, chill out a bit and wait for the 30% to hit, then just lock on again, and now it's gonna be very easy to take him out. So bait a heavy attack, then drop a 5-hit combo followed by a special 2, which puts him at 1% health, so I just bait that combo ender, then I can just drop him. Pretty good fight for Falcon, that's going to be his last one for the war and this season, and he has been a very big part of my roster this season. In fact, I think I've used Falcon more than Nick Fury in war this season, just such a reliable champ. Too good for Path 5 and a bunch of other stuff. So now we're gonna move on to the mini-bosses, where we first have a Weapon X. I don't think I've fought a Weapon X this season before, so this was quite interesting. And he has the best defense, brute force, spry, and limber. However, the only node that will actually do something is brute force, because spry doesn't matter since he doesn't evade. Same with the best defense, and I have the Wag's pre-fight ability active, so I can just bypass limber with the passive stuns. So I made a bit of a boo-boo here because I carried on hitting him when he had 25 charges. Just didn't notice because I thought it's only displayed on the persistent charges, which of course he doesn't have any. So at first I thought that might be a bug like the one with Nick Fury or Corvus, but then I heard that it has something to do with his SIG ability. But it's all good because I saved my invulnerability boost for these last two fights, and I have the power of tech power boost behind me. And look at what that does to this poor little Weapon X. I mean, the fight was basically over when I hit the special 2 button. He lost 60% health in about 8 seconds. So now we have one more fight, which is gonna be a rank 3 Hulkbuster boss. I've never seen Hulkbuster placed on the boss node, so I thought this might be pretty interesting. Also, this is the main reason I brought Hyperion to war today, because I fought a Hulkbuster on the Stunning Reflection mini-boss a few wars ago, so I figured Hype will probably work well on the boss as well. Above average health pool with high energy resistance means that the shock damage shouldn't be that bad. Then I have class advantage, good damage, and that OP combination of the special 1 with the power gain. So I go in with Hype and as usual, get to the special 3 first, and I'm gonna be punishing his special 1 with a heavy attack cause that's a pretty easy opening for getting those fury buffs. Okay, so special 3 time, do the whole Superman thing, and now I'm good to go. And this was actually a fun fight with Hyperion just due to Hulkbuster's animations, particularly that special 1 being so easy to heavy punish. So I'm mostly gonna be dropping special 1s for the rest of the fight. Just dash back, let him come at you, and sort of intercept with it. No need for special 2 cause those will trigger protect, and the special 1 is generally just better for damage anyway. Unless they incinerate immune, of course. And that's basically it. Then I was just heavy punishing the special 1 sometimes for the furies. And yeah, it was a pretty clean fight for the most part. The fight was almost flawless until towards the end. I think he had about 13% health left, where I did the whole dash back special 1 intercept, and the thing just whiffed. Like, he threw a light attack at the same time I threw the special 1, and the first hit just didn't connect. It kind of looked like Hulkbuster avoided getting hit by recovering from his light animations. Then he threw a second light attack which just went through me because I was mid special 1 animation, and he still didn't get hit because it was the part where Hyperion pauses between the first and the second hit of the special 1. Then he just blocks the last few hits like an arrogant prick and just combos me. I'm pretty sure it was Tony Stark controlling him and not Dr. Banner because Bruce wouldn't stoop so low. That was just a dirty move, exploiting these quote-unquote realistic hitboxes. Then having the audacity to combo me after that is just a no-no. So that was really annoying, not gonna lie. Fortunately, I still had the invulnerability boost active, so I only took 2 hits out of the 5-hit combo. But if I didn't have the invulnerability boost, oh my goodness, I think I would have died. Even with it, if he had a very good crit RNG and both those hits were crits, one big yellow number could have made all the difference, cause he was doing 8k mediums without crits. So I think it's about to happen now, should be the next special 1 after this. Fortunately, still in this fight after all that went down. But I was a little bit concerned because I do need to have a decent amount of health just so I can take some shock damage. So now I'm at 37%, he's at 13, not much left, we're in assassin range, so this should be in the bag as long as that crap doesn't happen again. So I'm just gonna carry on with the fight, you know, same playstyle, except now I'm gonna drop a few more medium attacks. Just playing fairly aggressive. And I was a little bit hesitant to do it again here. Then I just waited a little bit more, drop a special 2. Made one more special 1, drop a full combo, followed by a special 1, get 3 incinerates, waiting for him to go down, still not down, so one more special 1 and he goes down. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this war. If you guys enjoyed this video or want to see more war videos like this, feel free to like, share and all that good stuff. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, but it would mean a lot to me. But as always, thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.